going to take a look at a few other loose ends assignments for week 2. You have a discussion forum. This is our first discussion forum. What I'm looking for you to do here is to watch this video. It's a TED Talk about moral code, which sort of kind of relates to software development. It's a good video on doing the right or wrong thing. Interesting perspective. Looking for you to answer these prompts in your post. So a discussion forum, what it's really supposed to be is where you are doing discussion with other students in the class. What I've done to try to make this a little less painful for you is I'm just asking that you watch the video and make a post. So watch the video and you reply to these questions. Now just be aware that everybody can read everybody else's reply. So what I'm kind of thinking here, my approach is that we can see everybody's interpretation of this. That's what our approach is going to be with this. So just make sure you do this within the week and make sure you don't get behind and do that. So spend some time, make sure you do that. It's one of the assignments for this week. Another thing that is probably going to take a little bit of time, and you can see some stuff here that you can't see some of the stuff down here at the bottom. So make sure you take a look at this major project. Now, be aware it's a little bit confusing the way that this is semantically worded, so I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. This is going to be a project that we're going to keep revisiting throughout the entire semester over the next 10 weeks. So it's going to be in 5 parts. This is part 1 of the 5 parts. So the course coordinator gives us some examples and a checklist you can go through. I'm going to take a look at the actual part 1 of the 5 parts. So he calls it assignment 1. We have other assignments in the course, of course, but this is part 1 of the 5 parts. What you are to do, the way the course coordinator developed this, is he is looking for a very formal document, and he explains this in great detail. The document itself, for what he wants, is not quite the same thing that I'm going to expect you to do. So what I'm looking for you to do is you do not have to do a splash page. Now, this is part 1, 2, 3. This is confusing. This is part 1 of part 1 of 5. So it's kind of like a sub-part of part 1. In other words, this is part 1 of 5 steps to this major project. He's saying this is the first section you're to do of part 1. And this is really the paper he wants you to write. It's just a proposal paper. He wants part 2 and part 3. I am not looking, part 3 is just submitting, is all it is. I'm not looking for any kind of Java code in this part, in this section, in part 1 of 5. So all I'm looking for you to do, and I try to explain that here, is all I'm looking for you to do is, I've adjusted this so you do not have to make a Java splash page. All I'm looking for you to do is to give me a document, which can be a Word file or RTF if you don't have Microsoft Word, but you could have access to that with Office 365 as an SEC student. And you only need to complete sections 1 through 4. So in other words, let's go back to this assignment. I am only looking for this, this, and this. So your document that you give me, I am looking for you to do these 4 steps of this section. That is all your document needs. So he is very particular in the type of font you use, no black lines, no two blanks. So really what he's trying to do here is just make sure you don't submit something that has like font size 72. So he's asking for 14-point font. If yours is 12-point, if yours is 16-point, that's fine. I'm not that concerned about it. But just make sure that you use common sense. Don't give me something that has margins that are 6 inches wide on each side, so you only need to type 20 words. Just don't do something goofy like that. You're a college level student. Give me college level work is what I'm looking for here. So all this document really is you're proposing what you're going to do your project on. Ultimately, what you're going to be doing by the end of this is you're going to be creating a piece of software that interests you or relates to some area that you understand, or something. I would try to do something that might help you in your studies, or try to do something that is of value to you in your life. So you're just thinking about what that's going to be, and you're presenting a proposal to me. I will tell you, there's hardly anything I'm going to say no to what you can do. Because the idea is that your instructor is going to approve this. I'm pretty much going to approve almost any topic. And if you'd say, I want to create a project that actually prints Hello World, I'm probably going to say no to that, because that's a little too easy. All this is really doing is just trying to get you to think about what you're going to do and put that in some kind of formal document. So what you're ultimately submitting back to me with this is a Word file or an RTF. This last section of this, he calls it part 3 of this part 1, that's what he's calling this. So this last area here, this is explaining how to submit it. You should already know how to submit an assignment to Blackboard. That's really all this is. So make sure you submit that to me, and that is one of the things you have to do for this week. So this major project is going to be in 5 parts, and it's going to go over the stretch of the entire semester. So make sure you read through this and spend some time developing this as well. So yes, you do have a good bit to do, so I'm making these videos to try to help explain what you already do. If you have any questions, email me.